This is for the fathers around the globe. We love you more than you'll ever know. For the strength you gave me, you're truly amazing. Happy Father's Day. Place you on the highest pedestal. We love you more than you'll ever know. You chose to man up, you chose to stand up. Happy Father's Day. From my first breath to my first steps, Pops, you took me under your wing. So I'm under a king, which means I was destined to achieve anything. Realize.
Good morning, anglers. This is Anglers 48, and welcome to the Anglers 48 show. Thank you for joining us on this episode. Hope you guys are doing well. I hope you all had a wonderful 4th of July, happy Independence Day, if you will. What are we going to be talking about? Well, we're going to be talking about Hurricane Beryl. Right now, today is Saturday, right? No fishing for anglers. I have a couple of buddies that did go fishing this weekend, and wish them the best. I had my friend Mr. Wesley go out there, and he was successful. Was able to catch a couple of trout, and he also released some nice gator trout. So props to him. Shout outs to my partner in crime, Tony. He's out there in La Sara, Texas, slinging the line. Hopefully, it all goes well for him. He's trying to get some gar, catfish, and anything else that bites. So we're going to be talking about the harms that the hurricanes bring and some of the benefits, right? And I know that there's hardcore guys, hardcore. I don't want to say guys because there's a lot of women out there that are anglers. So there's a lot of hardcore anglers that despite nor wind nor rain or nor sleet nor snow will hold them back from going fishing. Specifically, if they're doing freshwater fishing, they're still out there in those canals. So, what are some of the harms? We're gonna talk about three. There's a lot of harms, right? But I'm going to focus on three harms that they bring to the fisheries, right? And the first one is it kills the fish due to salinization. If you're an angler, we hear about that a lot. Desalinization. Obviously, we fish saltwater, and there has to be a particular level of salt in the bay or the ocean. So when there's a storm, when there's a hurricane, so much water goes into that bay, or so much water goes in there that the levels are thrown off, right? And we all know that the fish that are in the flats, the fish that normally work the shorelines, they won't be there, right? The fish, they tend to go to the deep. That's where all the salt is. The levels, that's where they're at their best after a big storm, hurricane type of thing. There's a lot of fresh water in the shoreline. A lot of fresh water when there's dips. When you're working the flats, the grass flats, and if there's a sandbar, there's very little salt there, right? That's where you're gonna have a lot of the fresher water still. So if you're after the hurricane, you want to go and fish the shoreline, things of that nature, the chances of you catching, right, are not gonna be that great. Okay, so desalinization, that's a big one. Another one is oxygen levels, right? The oxygen levels are thrown off. There's less fish due to it. If the oxygen levels are not there, the fish are gonna die. So we're expecting to see some fish some sea creatures, if you will, pop up dead close to like a freeze when we see those turtles, you know, tortoises. We see them all dead. We see a couple of fish that are dead. The levels are thrown off, so that's going to kill some of the fish. We may be seeing a lot of, our bait, out on the shore. So we're going to be seeing some of that. The habitats. This is a big one also for us guys, because once everything settles, what was once a good fishing spot may not be there anymore, guys. My computer is flickering a little bit. Please forgive me, guys. If like a lot of us, we like to fish the north side of Port Mansfield. There's a lot of sediment there. There are some little reefs. For those of you who do wading, you're gonna notice certain areas that where there's little reefs. You're gonna see the shells. Some of those may be affected. So I'm not saying, because if you go south, if you fish the south side of Port Mansfield, there's no comparison. All the good fishing spots are on the north side. South side doesn't have those sediments. That's why not very successful fishing the south side. So the fish habitats, where the fish eat, where the fish hang around, all that right there, it's going to be affected through erosion. Some of it is fleshed out, right? So you don't have that anymore. When there's strong winds, stuff like that, that also is harmful. You start seeing a lot of the sediments on the shoreline. Take a look at the shoreline. You're going to see a lot of grass, a lot of sediments. All that hurts us as fishermen, because the fish won't go there anymore. They're going to go somewhere else to look for their food. So those are some of the harms, right, of a hurricane. There's so many, right, but those were the three that I decided to talk about, pretty important ones. Some of the benefits. We were talking about sediments. Well, the way some of the sediments are taken away from those areas, some of those sediments in certain situations are carried over. They're moved around to other areas. So let's say the south side of Port Mansfield. I would go there 10 times. I was lucky if one of those of the 10 times I did great. Because I've done, so there on the south side. But because of this, sediments may be actually benefiting the south side. So now, after the hurricane, you're fishing on the south side of Port Mansfield, there may be more fish, right? So there's benefits. The coral reefs, we're talking about some of the reefs there on the north side. Okay, some of those reefs can be separated, broken apart, and then it can create new habitats. So fish are going to be attracted to more than one, more coral reefs, more fish, more spots. And another benefit is waste can be cleared off from lagoons, lakes. So if you have a lake, right, and weeds all over the place, waste, and all of a sudden you get that rainfall, that storm. All of a sudden, that lake, that lagoon looks beautiful now because it cleared out a lot of the waste, a lot of those weeds, dead grass. So the fisheries, right? Some harmful things can come across because of it, some benefits. Now, how does it affect us as anglers? Because we've gone fishing out there when there's a storm. At least I have. My wife, she's like, hey, you're going to go fishing? But look at how it is. Look how ugly it is. Hey, man. We still go. How is it going to affect us? It's going to affect us in many ways. I'm only going to name a few. One way that it's going to affect us is if something happens within our personal life, right? Because the hurricane is sliding to the north, and it's going to end up going north of Corpus Christi, unless all of a sudden it decides to curve. But if you look at that curve, it's, it was projected right at the Rio Grande, right at the valley, right? But now it's curving, so it's going up north of Corpus. But it's still going to affect us in a way. So how does it affect the fishing? Well, many fish will die due to oxygen levels being altered. Oxygen levels are altered. It's like putting a fish, a saltwater fish, in fresh water. Now I'm gonna give you the if you catch let's say a croaker, right? I may be picking the wrong bait. Let's say you get a croaker, right? And instead of putting it in a trawl filled with salt water, you put it in a trawl filled with fresh water. Won't be able to breathe, doesn't have that salt, that salinity. Yeah, you have the aerator, but and again, this is, I'm not a scientist by any means, and but those oxygen levels, right? You start messing with those, and you're gonna start noticing dead fish all over the bay. So many fish will die due to the oxygen levels being altered. Next one is fish, and we know this one. The fish are gonna go to deeper waters. Anytime excess rain, there's a storm, hurricane, there's the salinity, right, is on top of the water and on at the shoreline, in flats, sandbars, wherever there's skinny water, that's where there's less salt water there. So that's gonna affect us. You want to go fishing, wade fishing, the chances of catching, the fish like we used to are not gonna be as high. I'm not saying we won't catch any, right? The bait may also go out that way, whichever bait is still alive. So it's going to affect us, for those of us who like to catch our own bait. It's going to affect possibly those businesses that go and catch the bait. So you're going to go to the bait shop, they may not have bait. So it's going to affect us. The flats, once again, the flats, shorelines, they're not going to hold the fish that they once did. It's going to take a while for the fish to acclimate themselves. There's a lot of contaminants, right? A lot of contaminants that are being washed up inshore. And they're killing the fish. There are also species that may not be, in other words, you're gonna probably see species that belong somewhere else, and you're gonna see them here. You're gonna be like, what is this? There may be species that are harmful to our fisheries. There may be species that are not harmful to the fisheries. And also, when you stir up the water, right? You stir up the water, it's going to take a while for it to settle down. Because there's been times when there's a big storm and you go outside and it's a beautiful day. Let's go fishing, man. You go, you get there, and there's a big chop. And you're like, why is there a chop? Look how beautiful it is. Yeah, because that water is going to take a while to settle down. And then it's murky. You don't have that beautiful, blue water. It's going to take a while for the sand, sediments to calm down. And then it's going to be a challenge for the fish, if they're out there, to see your lure or your bait. We want some rain, obviously, right? We've been getting some good stuff the last couple of weeks. We just don't want something that's going to affect our way of life, because that's how we as fishermen and everybody else in the community, in the world, is affected. Because how can we think of fishing when there's a hurricane and the house gets flooded? Things get, the roof loses shingles. There's disaster in our backyard. So first of all, we got to focus on our home, family, and everybody all being safe. Yeah, we lose power. You heard it in the news. Thousands of people are out of power. And you're like, but I want to go fishing. How can we go fishing leaving the family hanging? How can we hit those canals that may not have been affected and leave our family without light, power? So, and this right here is brought to you by the Department of Energy and National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, right? So this is information that is coming from those head honchos, the people that deal with all this, Looking outside, I was able to get up, do the yard, and I want to have that yard nice and cut. That way, when the hurricane comes, and then it leaves or whatever, my grass isn't past my ankles or something, right? So I do want to wish everybody a safe. Um, the hurricane supposedly is going to be hitting Monday, Monday into Tuesday, right? But the winds are going to start being noticed Sunday, right? Unless something drastically changes. Please be safe. For those of you who are watching all the way to the end, I greatly appreciate it. Not many people are into podcasts, but if you're tuning in, greatly appreciate it. Please check out my Facebook page. It's the Anglers 48 Fishing Addict. You can join that page, and if you want to put your pictures, your fishing pictures, fishing videos, go right ahead. It's a family page, so we want to keep it family. Mm, what else? If you haven't checked out any of my fishing videos, once again, they're inshore fishing videos. We've been doing some salt and some freshwater fishing, so look into those videos as well. And I'll leave you guys right here. Hope all is well. Prepare yourself. If you don't have sandbags, right now it's Saturday, so but I'm sure that that the news will be announcing where they can distribute the sandbags. So get yourself some sandbags. Gas up your vehicles. What else? Flashlights. Make sure you have plenty of flashlights. Water. Make sure you have plenty of water and food. Yeah. I'll leave you with that, guys. And until next time, guys, from far Texas, in the Anglers 48 show, Anglers 48 signing off. Thanks for watching.